Welcome to Hovenweep Towers, one of the most fascinating ancient sites in the American Southwest. Built by the Ancestral Pueblo people over 700 years ago, these remarkable stone towers stand as a testament to incredible engineering, culture, and history. In this video, we'll explore the mysteries behind their construction, daily life in the settlement, and the stunning landscape that surrounds them. Join us on a journey into the past at Hovenweep Towers. Hovenweep Towers. Imagine standing in a silent desert canyon as the sun begins to set. The wind moves gently across the rocky land, and in the distance, strange stone towers rise from the earth. They have stood there for more than 700 years, watching generations come and go. No one knows exactly why they were built. No one knows exactly what happened around them. Even today, these towers remain one of Colorado's most fascinating ancient mysteries. The mystery begins at the Hovenweep Towers, located near the border of Colorado and Utah. The name Hovenweep comes from a Native American word that means deserted valley. It is a fitting name because when explorers first arrived, they found ancient stone buildings standing alone in a quiet landscape. The people who built them had vanished centuries earlier. At first glance, the towers look almost impossible. Some are built directly on the edges of cliffs. Others sit on giant boulders. A few are circular, while others have square shapes. Their builders had no modern machines, no steel tools, and no advanced equipment. Yet somehow, they created structures that have survived hundreds of years of harsh weather. The towers were built by the ancestors of the Pueblo people, sometime between the late 1100 and the late 1200. During that period, the region was home to thriving communities. Families farmed the land, grew corn, beans, and squash, and built villages throughout the canyon areas. But one question continues to puzzle archaeologists. Why were the towers built in the first place? Some towers contain small windows and openings that seem carefully placed. These openings are not random. In several cases, sunlight passes through them during important times of the year, such as the summer solstice and winter solstice. Because of this, some researchers believe the towers may have been used as ancient calendars. Imagine standing inside one of these stone structures hundreds of years ago. A beam of sunlight enters through a narrow opening and strikes a specific wall. That light tells the community that a new season has arrived. In a farming society, knowing when to plant crops could mean the difference between survival and starvation. This idea sounds reasonable, but it does not explain everything. If the towers were only calendars, why were some built in difficult locations on cliff edges? Why invest so much effort into constructing such massive buildings for a purpose that might have been achieved in simpler ways? So, another theory suggests that the towers served as watchtowers. From many of the tower locations, people could see long distances across the landscape. They may have watched for travelers, trading partners, or possible enemies. During uncertain times, early warning could have been extremely valuable. Yet this explanation also has problems. Many towers are too small to hold large groups of guards. Some have features that seem unnecessary for military use. Researchers continue to debate whether defense was their main purpose, or only one part of a larger role. Others believe the towers held spiritual importance. Ancient Pueblo cultures often connected their lives to the natural world. The movement of the sun, moon, stars, and seasons played important roles in ceremonies and beliefs. The towers may have served as sacred spaces where rituals were performed. If that is true, then the structures were much more than simple buildings. They may have represented a connection between the people and the universe around them. But again, there is no final proof. The mystery grows even deeper when experts study the construction itself. The builders displayed remarkable skill. Stones were carefully shaped and fitted together with great precision. Some walls remained standing despite centuries of wind, rain, snow, and temperature changes. Modern visitors are often surprised by the quality of the workmanship. Think about the challenge these ancient builders faced. Every stone had to be gathered, carried, and placed by hand. There were no trucks bringing materials. There were no cranes lifting heavy blocks. Everything required human effort. Yet they succeeded in creating structures that still amaze people today. One of the most famous towers is known as Square Tower. It rises dramatically beside a canyon edge and remains one of the best preserved buildings in the entire area. Looking at it today, many visitors wonder how such a structure was even possible to build in that location. Nearby, other towers appear equally mysterious. Some stand alone, others connect to larger groups of rooms and buildings. Together they create a landscape that feels almost frozen in time. Then comes the biggest mystery of all. Around the late 1200s, the people left. The communities that once filled the region suddenly began to disappear. Villages were abandoned, homes were left behind. The towers remained standing, but the people who built them moved away. Why? Scientists have several ideas. One possibility is drought. Evidence suggests that the region experienced long periods without enough rainfall. Farming became increasingly difficult. Crops failed. Food supplies became uncertain. For a society that depended heavily on agriculture, drought could have been devastating. Another possibility involves resource shortages. As populations grew, local resources may have become strained. Wood for construction and fuel became harder to find. Farming land may have become less productive over time. Some researchers think social tensions may have played a role as well. Competition for resources can create conflict. Communities facing environmental challenges often experience stress. People may have decided to migrate to more stable areas where conditions were better. Still, none of these explanations completely solves the mystery. The departure appears to have happened relatively quickly. Entire communities moved away, leaving behind impressive structures that had taken years to build. What would cause people to abandon such valuable places? That question remains unanswered. Today, visitors walking through Hovenweep often describe a strange feeling. The silence is powerful. The towers seem to watch over the empty landscape. It is easy to imagine ancient families living there, working in the fields, gathering water, and observing the changing seasons. The mystery becomes personal. Who stood inside these towers? What conversations took place there? What ceremonies were performed? What fears and hopes filled the minds of the people who built them? The stones cannot answer. They remain silent witnesses to a forgotten chapter of human history. Modern archaeology has revealed many details about life in the region, but the towers continue to guard their deepest secrets. Every new study provides clues, yet the complete story remains just out of reach. That uncertainty is part of what makes Hovenweep so fascinating. Many ancient sites tell us exactly what they were used for. We can identify their purpose with confidence. Hovenweep is different. The towers refuse to fit neatly into a single explanation. Perhaps they were calendars, perhaps they were watchtowers, perhaps they were sacred buildings, or perhaps they served multiple purposes at the same time. The truth may be a combination of all these ideas, or it may be something entirely different that modern researchers have not yet discovered. Today, the condition of the site presents both positive and negative realities. On the positive side, many of the towers remain remarkably well preserved. Protection efforts have helped prevent major damage, and visitors can still see much of the original stonework. Archaeologists continue studying the area, and modern technology allows researchers to learn more than ever before. The site also helps preserve the history and culture of the ancestral Pueblo people. Thousands of visitors come each year to appreciate the achievements of these ancient builders. On the negative side, time never stops. Wind, rain, freezing temperatures, and erosion continue to wear down the structures. Climate changes create additional challenges for preservation. Human activity can also cause damage if visitors ignore rules or wander into protected areas. Even with careful protection, no ancient structure can remain unchanged forever. My own opinion is that the greatest mystery is not simply why the towers were built. The greater mystery is how much knowledge has been lost over the centuries. The builders clearly understood engineering, astronomy, and their environment far better than many people realize. The towers show intelligence, planning, and purpose. Whatever their exact function, they were not random constructions. They were important enough for people to invest enormous effort into creating them. And that is why the mystery continues to capture attention today. The Hovenweep Towers still stand in the desert, just as they have for centuries. Visitors can walk among them, study them, and wonder about them. But despite all the research and discoveries, the towers continue to keep some of their secrets hidden. At present, the site remains protected and accessible to visitors. Most major structures are still standing, preservation work continues, and researchers regularly study the area. However, natural erosion and aging remain ongoing threats. The towers survive, but their future depends on continued conservation efforts. For now, they remain one of Colorado's most enduring ancient mysteries, quietly overlooking the desert valleys where their story began centuries ago.